Hello, Central New York, and hello, hockey fans all across the internet, and welcome to the Central New York Hockey Report podcast right here on the Studio 25 Podcast Network. I'm your host, Scott Kinville, and our guest today, he is the head coach of what has got to be one of, if not the hottest team in college hockey right now. We're just going to go ahead and bring him right in. He is the head coach of the Hamilton Continentals men's hockey team, who, by the way, are ranked 8th in the nation. Mr. Rob Haberbusch. Coach, how are you?
I'm great, thanks, Scott. How are you?
I'm doing really well. I'm glad to be back, and I'll tell you something. You have got to be in a tremendous mood. Your team has been on fire.
You would think so. Coaches always find something to complain about, though. Yeah, life could be worse. So I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my goodness, you're 15-3-0 this season so far. And by the way, I was looking at your records earlier. 10-1-0 on the road. You guys don't like to sleep in your own bed? I mean, this is just unbelievable being that good on the road.
Yeah, we're in a weird cycle this year, I guess, where the non-conference games were all away this year, so that just added to it. And then we were away a lot in January, which I actually like because we come back and the students don't get here until like around Martin Luther King Day. So if we're at home, then there's no students here. So I like to get out on the road during that time. So we've gotten a lot of that out of the way over the break. And now we've started classes and we'll be home again for a while. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, you got 4 games coming up right in a row at home, which is great. And, coming off that big win last weekend against number 12 Trinity on the road, surprisingly enough, right? How good did it feel to beat the Bantams, especially after they handed you really one of your only losses of the season earlier?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was going to be a playoff game, obviously. Like, we were going in there. It was the first 2 teams in the league, 1 and 2. Very close in the national rankings. So there was a lot at stake, and it's just great to get a game like that in the regular season where you can kind of prepare for the playoffs and see what that's going to be like. And then, to be able to get the win, that's a big confidence booster as well. So it was an awesome game and great to get the W.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Any coach you'll talk to says exactly that. You want to play those tough games, especially as you're getting closer to tournament time postseason, because those are where you really can, the measuring stick for your team and where they're at. But like I said, obviously where your team is right now has been an unreal run. So tell me, what is it about this Continentals team that's making it so successful?
Well, a lot of things. I mean, it kind of, some years you feel like you're starting over, and some years feel like it's just a continuation of last season. And that's what this team feels like. We had a lot of people back. And that's what coaches really want. When people talk to coaches, they always ask them about the recruits. Like, who are your recruits? What do you got? Coaches want seniors. They want older people with experience. And we were lucky to have a lot of people back from our team last year. And like I said, it just felt like a continuation of last year. And, that's one. I think, another big thing is just the depth that we have at every position. Believe it or not, we had some, quite a few injuries over that stretch, and it was just next man up. People were coming in, and it was just a seamless transition. So the depth of the team has been a huge part in that as well.
Yeah, and you mentioned the people that came in last season. You had one of the top recruiting classes in the country by everybody's measure, which you did a fantastic job there. And this season, you're right, it seems like a continuation, but you also have a fantastic group of veterans, the seniors, the juniors. Tell us a little bit about the leadership group you got there at Hamilton.
Yeah, it's really, we're really, really lucky there. So we have 3 captains: James Philpott, William No, and Jackson Croc. So James and William were captains last year. So again, that's that continuity, just coming back, picking up where we left off. And then Jackson Kroc is only a junior. He joined that group this year. And he's a real natural leader, and not surprised that he was picked as a junior. So together they form a really good captain team. Jackson's a real vocal guy. He's kind of the engine of the team. Like he's a high energy player, very physical. He brings that dynamic. James is a top player. He was an All-American last year, but really, a guy that he has good relationships with everybody on the team, close relationships. Is really in tune with the team dynamic, as is William. Willie's, one of those guys that's loved by all. He's more of an unsung guy. He's not someone that puts up a ton of points, but he's such a great skater, a really, really hard competitor, and a really, really strong defenseman that just plays a real honest game, and everybody respects that. And like I said, they all bring kind of different strengths and weaknesses, and they form a really good captain group, which is what I really love.
Yeah, you definitely need to have those players just like that, the strong silent type, so to speak. And then you got the ones that, like you said, you got the vocal. It just sounds like it's a perfect combination you got going on there. Goaltending has been very strong for you this year. Charlie Archer's like 11-1-0 or 1-1, I think. So I got to look at it again. Tell us about your goaltending, because it's been outstanding.
It has, yeah. Again, Charlie had a disappointing season last year. He was leading the country in save percentage at Christmas time, and then he went down with an injury, and that essentially ended his season. So, we were obviously he needed surgery, and ultimately that was successful and made it back to full strength here this year. So we were really looking forward to getting him back this year, and excited that he made it back to 100% and then some. He's played tremendously. He was out during that stretch with an unrelated injury, but he missed, I think, at least 3 games. And during that time, Axel Reed went in. Axel had played some games at the beginning of the year as well, but he filled in while Charlie was gone. And again, talk about, the depth of the team. I mean, he went in there, and again, it was just a seamless transition. That's a tough position to lose somebody. Your team can play differently when you lose a strong goaltender, but we didn't have that. We just, we had the confidence to play our game and be aggressive and know that he was going to make the saves when he did. So those are the 2 guys that have been seeing the time for us this year, and they've both gone extremely well. I mean, Charlie has played the bulk of the games so far. Axel has played a significant number. I don't have it in front of me, but they're first and fourth, I think, in our conference in save percentage, I know. So we've got 2 excellent goaltenders right there.
And that's in a great conference like the NESCAC. So that's really, really something to be proud of, and you know what, to brag about, because that is fantastic. It really is. So I don't know how much you pay attention to social media or anything like that, but D3 Hockey News. Try not to. I hear you there. But D3 Hockey News had their projections out. If the season were to end today, what would the projections for the postseason look like? And they've got you guys playing UNE in the first round, and then the winner of that game would play Utica. So how huge would that be for Central New York to have Hamilton and Utica playing each other in the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'm not going to think about that just yet. I've seen.
So I told Dave I don't want to curse anything, but
yeah, he was cursing it.
I have seen those projected brackets. I mean, those obviously. I mean, those are just for fun. Mm-hmm. So much can change between now and then. even the polls, I look at that, I just I try not to put much into that and kind of preach that to the team as well. Coaches are just about trying to, win the day, so to speak, just kind of invest in the process. And, really since Christmas, we've come back and we've literally gotten better every week. You can see it and feel it. And more importantly, I think the players can. And that's just been our focus is, trying to be a better team each week because, we had that big win on Saturday against Trinity, but, we just came back and said, hey, that's great, but we're going to have to be even better come playoff time to win games. So let's get back to work on Monday and let's be a better team on Friday than we were the previous one. So that's been our mindset.
Yeah, it's always the next game. You got to be thinking about the next game. Once that buzzer goes for the final of this game, you're on to the next. And I got to tell you something. You got a really cool office here because I can see through your window there that you got the scoreboard over the rink. That is really cool. I never noticed that in our last interview.
Yeah, that's the best view a hockey coach can get. So I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Coach. I mean, like I said, you're a friend of the show. We always appreciate you coming on. This is fantastic. So I gotta close with one of my comical questions, of course.
Sure.
Which one of the guys on your team would become a stand-up comedian after his playing days are over?
A stand-up comedian. Yeah. I got the roster right here. Let me take a quick look. Well, I'm gonna go with William No. Willie, we have a little we do a little thing at the beginning of practice where everybody one guy gets up and speaks, and he's given a few we've done it for a few years here, and he did one the other day, and he kind of like it was a spin-off of something he did his freshman year, and he can really captivate the room. So I'll go Willie No.
He'd be one of those guys you got to follow him around with the camera for a day.
Yeah, that'd be fun for sure.
Oh boy! All right, Coach. Well, like I said, I'm so great to catch up with you because, and like I said, good for you guys doing as well as you're doing this year. This has been a fantastic season. Anything else you'd like to add before we go?
No, just great to see you. I'm glad you're doing well, and just want to say thank you for everything you're doing for hockey in Central New York here.
Well, I appreciate that, sir, very much. And like I say, now that I'm getting ready to come off the IR, I will be at the rink at some point before the close of the season. So
awesome. I look forward to seeing you.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You got it, Scott. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right. That was Coach Haberbusch. Like I said, Dave, their season has been fantastic this year. And, not for nothing, I will say that I'm one of the ones that have been saying, watch out for this Hamilton team. You heard me say it at the beginning of the season.
I did hear you. I heard you say it, yep.
So,
don't jinx it.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach, and the guys for, making my predictions look good. So, appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? Since we've got no Jordy today and we've got nothing else lined up, I'll tell you what. Why don't we make this one a short show?
Short show.
Yeah, and we're going to close this out. So, once again, I want to thank Coach Rob Haberbusch from the Hamilton College Continentals men's hockey team for coming on, and we want to thank you for watching and listening. So next time, we'll see you next time.